Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line, proudly sponsored by Hollywood Best and another episode of Talking Points where we will go back over. Look, I have it up already. Look at that. Where we go back over everything that happened over the weekend. From the Rat Rain winning to poor Roy. Poor Roy. It's all your fault. We get to that though in the end.
Maybe I'll do the same to Honey stuff.
It's all the same. All your fault, poor Roy. But how was everyone? How was everyone's weekend?
Average. It had highs and lows. Yesterday morning we had a Pimlico yard morning at Henry's. That was really good. Really enjoyed it. And
today Sean decided to forget she's a racehorse.
And Shauna decided to turn around and say, "Do you know what, lads? Not today, thanks. I don't fancy it." So I look, just not a going day at all. My mother asked me, we were actually at a family funeral today, and my mother asked me what happened to Shona. And I said, "Now, Mum," I said, in the most respectful way possible, she's a female. Didn't go down too well.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, though. It is true. We know it's true. So.
Magic Days cost me a fortune. A female. There you go.
We'll learn, lads. We'll learn one day. Dave's got the right idea, but we'll learn one day.
Yeah.
Ride and hide.
It's Kubo's fault. He convinced me about Magic Days. I was a bit unsure even after the last day. Sure, look.
Anyway, we move on. Another day, another dollar. Nice new background, by the way.
Yeah.
Right, we're going on to the first one, and the Rat romps home in the Many Clouds Chase. Protector Ash. We had a conversation about it already on Saturday. We need to plug that in. You were very impressed. It was a very good performance, no doubt about it. And they're coming out saying this is England's best. Go win. This is England's best Gold Cup horse and hope for the year. Are we convinced? You are. You seem to be convinced that.
I don't know if he's good enough to win a Gold Cup. It was very impressive. I think if you don't say he was very impressive, you're just not giving the horse any credit. I thought he should have won the Paddy Power. I still am convinced he should have. Maybe it's too far back, and Harry thought he had the turn of foot, but he looked better for going up and trip the other day. Yeah, I know he may not have beat much, but I said it to you, Apple Tom didn't beat any better standard than what the Rat would. I'm not saying the Rat would beat Apple Tom, but I thought he was very, very good, and he's only getting better. He's young. As he stepped up and trip, he's got better. His last 3 races now are a novice grade 1, second in the Paddy Power off near top weight, and then smashed him in a grade 2, so I think he's a good horse.
Ben's best Gold Cup horse, laughing Ben. I'm not saying he is. It's just what people are saying. It's not me. I don't think he's that good at all. But
I would agree with Will M there. I would think Chantry House is a better horse than the Rat. But
Tom, your thoughts on him? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't even like Chantry House, and I'd be fairly sure he's a better horse than this lad. He probably should have won the Paddy Power. I think he got himself into an awkward position there where he made a bad mistake, and then he wasn't really traveling, but we discussed that anyway. So, look, he did this really impressively. Let's not take too much away from him now. He did it very impressively. He's gone and won a grade 2 by 25 lengths. I think what you're saying, Dave, as well with the Plutard comparison is like the race kind of fell apart. Like Simply the Bets ran well up until the point and then stopped. Imperial Aura was pulled up, didn't run his race. Tiger Roll, I'm not even talking about it. And then you've got Native River.
He's talking about it.
I'm just not even going there. It's just no good to come from that conversation. And then Native River is 12 in 20 odd days' time. So he's beat nothing. He's definitely beat nothing. But he's gone and done it impressively at the same time. So look, I would be amazed if there's not at least 4 better than him in the Gold Cup. But That's my opinion on him.
Yeah, I kind of hold the same opinion on him. He beat Native River, who should be retired, in my opinion, already. Legs are gone. Sam Brown is a muglark. He's nowhere near a graded horse at all. You've Tiger Road, he turned up here is beyond me. Wishing and Hoping is a glorified pointer. Simply the Bets is shite and Employer is shite. I get what you're saying that Plutarch didn't beat much at. Well, we say he didn't beat much.
He beat better than that, though.
He beat Bristol de Mai, who didn't turn up on the day, we can say. Royal Pagay, who
wants heavy ground. I just don't get him. He's very good. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good horse. He's only 6. He's going to improve, but he needs to jump up a hell of a lot to get near. Look, people are going to say, "Oh, you're talking about the Gold Cup again," and Cheltenham, but it's just what all roads lead to. When we're taking it from here, what hand on heart would you think he'd beat the likes of Plutarch in though? The only horse I back at the moment for the Gold Cup is Manila. I don't think Plutarch will.
Okay.
But like I said, the last 2 weeks we were talking about this. There's going to be loads of performances over the next few months, and the market will just keep getting shaken up. All the races at Christmas now, so I'd be surprised if something out of left field wins the King George as well.
Yeah, well, you're thinking we can look at races like that, and we kind of know horse that could win the King George, like Flo that won last year. After he wins that, he has no hope in the Gold Cup. You can kind of gauge from horses the performance going through.
It was this time last year.
If he was going to win anything like a Gold Cup, he would have bolted up the Paddy Power. And even if he jumped to Oak adequately, he wasn't going to bolt up in the Paddy Power.
This time last year, Tom had been beaten by Castle Grace Paddy in a 2-mile race. And then Christmas.
But what was the thing you always said about Plutarch until recently? Plutarch always get beat first time out.
But I wouldn't be so confident on the top of the market in the World Cup.
I wouldn't have him.
I'm very strong on the top of the market in the Gold Cup.
I wouldn't have him worrying me the top 2, top 3 at all. That's just me. Could be totally wrong, but that's just the way
is Protectorate this year's Royal Pagay? They're all waxing lyrical about how great he is when he was winning a handicap or whatever and looking unbeatable, and then
I don't think anyone really thought he was going to. People gave him an each way squeak in the Gold Cup. Look, I liked him last season. I even said he's not a Gold Cup horse. If he had any chance at the Gold Cup, he needs to be bottomless. And horses don't reform. Look, again, yes, totally on that. What you're saying there, yeah, it could be. The kind of they're looking for a horse to go to the Gold Cup that they want to put a bit of press behind it, a bit of media behind it.
Yeah, I'm not having it anyway.
No, either. Dave will. So that's where we're going. Well, the snow falls and the rain at Aintree. Can't up all night thinking about these little things. Snow Leopardess
in the rain at Aintree.
Clever, isn't it? For me. Snow Leopardess wins the Beecher Chase at Aintree. Oh, the Aintree Fence, Grand National Fences. Good performance, always a nice race to see. I think the big talking point coming out of this was John Joe Neal getting taken out by a sniper coming over the canal turn. Tack must have went or something must have went because he just jumped the turn and went whee.
I think he just lost his balance, didn't he? And you could see after, like, when the camera turned, he was hitting the ground and whatever. He was annoyed at himself there, I think. Look, these things happen, lads, don't they? It was just jockey error, but he was going well there. So
yeah, hurt.
But Snow Leopardess.
Sorry, go on.
No, Snow Leopardess was fantastic.
She's hardy, yeah.
She must have given Aidan Coleman some thrill to go out and jump like that around those fences, and then to keep going. I thought he got a breather into her at the right time, and it just about paid off. But yeah, she's had a foal and everything, that mare. She's had 2 tendon injuries. She's given embryos to go off to be show jumpers. It's it's not your usual racehorse story at all. So no, it's a really good one.
And for a 9-year-old, she seems to be improving with age. She's a late bloomer, as they say.
Yeah.
You like her?
Yeah, it's the first time probably in her entire career and all her racing I didn't back her, but I was delighted she won. I was delighted she held on. She's just so likeable. She's no grade 1 mare or anything, but she just puts the head down. She jumps well. She tries her heart out, and you know what you're going to get.
She's a high-class staying handicapper.
Yeah.
That's what she is.
They're forming a 4-miler again. She was in it last year. Daisha Abba was unlucky not to win as well. He wasn't in it, but his form remastered all ties in. So.
That was a strange race, that Sandown race.
Yeah.
Fell apart at the last. Right, not much talk about this. Right, now we're going to move on to Edwardstone arrives on the arcade scene. I put this in even though I have no chance in hell this fella is going to have a say in an article. And I was listening to ITV before this, and they said, third time lucky, this is our Arkle horse, this is the one we're going to go to war with, this is the best we have in England, and then this happens. We said it, we all said it on the previous show, he's a suspect stay over 2 miles. We said it when we were seeing it at Cheltenham, he was tying up. They went from the front this time. Went too fast probably, but look, it's the only way you can ride him if he's going to go from the front, because he's a keen horse. Jumped well up to a point, and he belted 1 or 2. So you can safely say I can't have him in the Arkle whatsoever. Edwardstone did it well, no doubt about it. Did it very well, but hand on heart, you can't see him be good enough to win an Arkle.
I'd say if Dysart Dynamo, who won a maiden hurl today in Cork, went over fences, he would have won that race. That's genuine how I feel about that race. And it's the same every year. It's a shit race every year. And the same as the Tallward Hurdle, a shit race every year. Don't know what it is about Sandown in December.
Even when we were talking about Tom, we were clutching the straws to find something that was going to be either beat third time lucky, or we're kind of trying to convince ourselves that third time lucky was the horse to go in with this, and we've come out with none the wiser, really.
Yeah,
your name is not Tom.
I thought he went too fast, to be honest. He got a bit excited, and yeah, I didn't think he gave it a very good ride at all. I thought he went too quick. Edwardstone has been the one then to pick up the pieces, but yeah, I'm not taking that as Arkle form anyway. So yeah, can't have it, to be honest.
Tom Leach Warlord beat third time lucky. Laughing faces. Exactly. But no, I think you can just don't take anything out of that race unless Edwardstone decides to turn into a world beater all of a sudden. But I don't see it, in my opinion.
Did anyone see the first race at Sandown on Saturday?
Yep.
No.
Constitution Hill of Nicky Henderson's is now second favourite for the Supreme. So Nicky Henderson has the first and the second in the market at the Supreme at 3-1 and 4-1. It won very well, but again, it's just not something I'm getting excited about at all.
Supreme Novice winner won a Cork today.
Yeah, I would be very strong that we've got a lot better horses in Ireland than him anyway.
I can't believe I didn't back it after them saying this thing is going to win tomorrow. I just looked at it and I seen something against Kilcrot. Kilcrot is 1-14 and they're telling me this thing is going to beat it. And it duly battered.
So you think he'll win the Supreme now? You think that 1 o'clock?
Well, Willie Mullins and them were coming out and said they've no excuses. Just got beat.
Is that not on our next ones to talk about?
No, it's not. Oh, it is. Sorry. Yeah. Whoops. So it's been a long day. I've been all over the place today. Right, moving on. Grenadine takes advantage of Shakan and Newbay no-show. This is kind of more or less touching on what we talked about in the last race. There's not much. It's not going to have any real effect on the Cheltenham markets. Grenadine won it well, yes. Shakan what do you say about him now? Just in like traveling, there's something up with him. Newbury Negra, did the race come too soon after Cheltenham? Tom, your thoughts on this?
Shaken finished really stiff behind. He came out today and said he was very stiff behind. To be honest, there had to be something. He just ran too bad, didn't he? So I wasn't surprised at all that something came out. So there's his excuse. Andrew, anytime you touch your laptop, there's a real bad muffling noise. I don't know what it is. Try not to touch it too much. I've been trying to work out what it is, and all I can put it down to is whenever you touch that laptop.
Not touching. Hold up now. Does this make a muffling noise now?
No.
Okay, I'll use my mouse.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, Shaken was stiff. There had to be an excuse. Nube Negra didn't run his race, but to be fair, he probably had a harder race than you think the last day, and that came pretty soon after Cheltenham. So I'd give him another chance. I'm not a massive supporter of the horse or anything, but I'd give him another chance. Yeah, I thought Captain Guinness ran well. Thought he was going to win it for a stride. Hitman ran well, but Grenadine was good in fairness to him. He's only 7, Grenadine. But I've always I don't know, I've just never rated him that highly.
He's that kind of horse that he'd remind you of being borderline grade 1, but he's just a grade 2 horse. Even though, yes, this is a grade 1, but when he goes against the best of the best in the likes of a champion chase, he'll come up short.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was going to say, was over fences at Sandown. Grenadine's form is now looking very, very good. He's gone and won this. He won the celebration chase last year, beating Altior, and he was second behind Politolog in the Tingle Creek as well as a 6-year-old. So his Sandown form is very, very good. It's a lot better than anywhere else. So I thought he ran all right, but that was about it.
With Shaka, he's nearly 10 now. Are we just holding on to this kind of what could have been years ago because he was so lightly raced up to 2 years ago? Is it just a stage to go, he's 9 carrying on 10 now, he's not going to improve anymore, he is what he is?
I would like to see him win on Saturday, but there was only...
People giving out they couldn't hear you last week.
That's because you were muffling the sound of the laptop.
It wasn't.
It clearly is.
It's not.
Because Tom just has...
It's not, because
just figured
that's
it out.
a new lead now. That's the new lead. That wasn't no close to check.
Am I muffled?
No, you're not muffling. You're probably not quite as loud as Andrew, though. I don't know if that's good or a bad thing, Dave.
You don't feel the need to shout.
It's not because you don't have your microphone close to you.
Anyway, I was never on Shakan for the champion chase. There's only one horse I would be backing for the champion chase. I know what you said about Grenadine, but like he's a dual grade 1 winner at Sandown now, so he's definitely a grade 1 horse. It might be only at Sandown, but he's a grade 1 horse around that track. A second and 2 grade 1s now. Probably overlooked in the market, but when you went back through his form, I think he gave £17 or something to Eldorado Allen in that race at Exeter at the start of the season, his first run. So that actually looks like a decent performance. I don't think he'll win at Cheltenham, but he'll probably come back for the celebration chase in end of the year and would have a chance now. He'd probably be overlooked again because he might not win a race again till then. But Shakan, that's twice to England now. I just don't think he travels. There'll probably be excuses, like Tom said, he was stiff behind all, but he would never be carrying my money if he travelled over to England again. Will he come back and win at Leopardstone? Wouldn't surprise me, but he won't win a Cheltenham. Energamine will win a Cheltenham.
I think that's a good shout, Dave, on the celebration chase for Grenadine. I think he's a horse that will probably always get overlooked, and if he goes back to Sandown, I'd probably be backing him.
Right, moving on to things that happened today. Look, we're going to miss out on a few performances, the kind of low-key ones. Not low-key, but a few of the grade 2s and grade 3s. But we're going to
Andrew, sorry, I've got to jump in there. There's something urgent in the comments. Tom Leach says, "Where's Dino Dave? What have you done to him?"
Sorry. He's here. Sorry. Turn him on there. Sorry, Tom. Our apologies. There you go.
Fearing for Dino Dave's life there.
He's back. All good to go? Everyone happy?
Oh, happy now Dino Dave is back, yeah.
Good. It's mad someone knows. Largy debut takes down the 1-14 Kill Crush. I just touched on they said on Saturday that he was going to beat him. I didn't believe it. And now he duly went and beat 1-14 on Kill Crush, who I thought would just have to jump around to win. Look, I'm not going to get carried away with it at all. But he done it well. There's no two ways about it. He done it well. The thing I liked about it as well, he made an absolute hash of the second last. Balls of the second last. Landed on all fours, done a little river dance, and still pulled away from Kilcrut in the end. Look, Willie Mullins, some of our run below par, there's no doubt about that. I'd need to see him do it again to properly be convinced that he's really, really good. But was it a below par Kilcrut?
I don't know what to make of it. 1-14. I think I read he's the shortest price horse to be beaten in Ireland in a quarter of a century or something like that. The last one was 1-10 on or something on Seat the Rider over the last. But I don't know. Kilcrut just looked big and stuffy. Be interested to see what he comes out at now at Christmas and how he does if he's second, third favourite and they back him. But he'll have to be disappointed in Kilcrut. Who would expect him to win, but maybe the Henry Bronnet's good horse. Henry had a few turned over today as well, and he was about the only one that ran some way decent. So,
what are you thinking, Tom?
Hard to know what to make.
Yeah, I like you, Andrew. Like I don't get tips at Henry's Yard. I don't ask and I don't get told. But I've heard his name as we've walked around the stables more than once. Put it that way. You go in and see Bob or whatever, and his name has popped out that it's been mentioned. Oh, there's Largy debut, and it's like never heard of that horse. So I get the impression they do hold him in pretty high regard. So everyone's going to focus on Kilcrut here and say, "Oh, Kilcrut's useless," or "Kilcrut didn't run his race," or "He's not as good over hurdles," or whatever. But I think the winner's very good. I really, really do. His bumper form hasn't worked out too bad at all. It should be said now, like Kilcrut is going to beat the third 24 lengths. Not many of these wanted to get anywhere near the first two. It reminded me a bit of Bob and Ferny Hollow's race, where the two of them went off.
I was behind after three hurdles. That's about how far they were behind.
Yeah, they didn't want to be too close to the front two here. But no, I thought he was very impressive. I thought Kilcrut jumped quite well. I actually thought he jumped better than the winner. And the winner's going to beat in 10 lengths. Now, look, some of Willie's, we've seen a lot of Willie's this weekend, and some of them are running a good bit below form. Like Ellie May got beaten over in the UK. Burning Victory got absolutely hammered as well. There's a few of them that haven't run their races. So maybe Kilcrut just badly needed it. But yeah, no, I wouldn't take anything away from the winner.
No, either would I now. And as you said, it's not often they keep mentioning. Oh, look, we heard it like 4 or 5 times yesterday. Oh, there's Laggy debut. He's going to win tomorrow. You're thinking, okay. I remember someone asked, "Oh, what do you have in Cork tomorrow?" And Nicole said, "Do you have the card there?" And I went, "Yeah, you've Largy debut. Yeah, he'll win." Like,
She didn't even know who was in the race. Sure, you just said that. I do remember distinctly having a conversation at this time last year about Willie Mullins' stable form and his usual strike rate. It could have been earlier in November, and we're talking about his pre-training yards and some of the horses coming in being ready to run, and some of the horses running absolutely terrible. And then Leopardstone on Christmas hit, and he won about 7 million races. So I wouldn't be overly worried.
oh, Kilcrut, there's no doubt about this fella's a high-class horse. What he done at Punchestown was very good. look, he's more than likely going to come on for this now, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on next time up. He'll probably bolt up next time up. But again, it's the Supreme and Ballymore pictures still up in the air. There's no one really standing out bar Nicky Henderson's horse. Fucking Jamba. Oh, look. He's back.
Naked HD.
Your girlfriend's back.
Everyone wants, even you.
Jesus, Dave, they're really talking to you this time, aren't they?
Well, that's surprised.
Right, moving on.
The one thing to just say there, Andrew, is right.
Yeah.
This is what doesn't make sense in that Supreme market for me, right? Constitution Hill has gone out and beaten a horse who is going to be rated about 130. Won a novice, won a bumper, was well beaten in a listed bumper at Newbury. Won a Newbury novice hurdle by 11 lengths. Has gone out and beaten that. The third was Outlaw Peter, who is going to be rated about 120 over hurdles, right? And is 4-1 for the Supreme. And then you've got Largy Debut, who has got decent enough bumper form, has come out and beaten Kilcrut, and is 16 to 1 for the Supreme. Now, explain that to me, lads.
Can't, Tom.
That for me is mental. That's just not. It's just not getting your prices right at all.
That's why I texted him and said, "Do you have a Bet365 account?" I want to have a
yeah, I'm not going to take it off you for Wednesday or anything, but
don't you dare.
No, I won't. But no, it's the wrong price.
I'm struggling this year with the Anticoast. Snow prices are just shocking this year. Right. I did not see this race, so 2V take this away. Dysart Dynamo is Dynamo of Cork.
Between him and, I know Tom mentioned Nicky Henderson horse, but there was one today, Balco Coastal, won at Huntington.
Oh, excuse me.
And of all the maiden hurdles this weekend, Dysart Dynamo and Balco Coastal were the two that caught my eye. You probably don't have the Balco Coastal up there, but he looks a decent horse. Nicky Henderson horse again. But of Willie's ones, yeah, I didn't know what to make of his bumper form last year. He looked good, but like obviously not as strong as Sir Gerhard and Kilcrut, but he was very good today. He tanked his way around Cork and never looked like getting beaten. Skipped away then. I'd say he's a pretty good hurdler. Definitely 2-miler as well. Very fast.
Tom, did you see it?
Yeah, I did. And yeah, I thought he was good. What happened in this race, I felt, was after going on the two of them in the race before, Sean O'Keefe just sat back with the field. I think he just went whatever pace he was allowed to be in front at. It always jumped a bit erratically. It looked very green. It came into the first couple and ran around. It's going to have to brush up its jumping style, but it did as the race developed a little bit. This race was just nearly one and a bit seconds slower than Largy Debut and Kilcrut. But that said, I think they were run differently, as in Sean O'Keefe didn't go off a million miles an hour. He just sat and led at whatever pace he could. And for that reason, I think it was probably a bit more impressive even than Largy Debut, who I'm quite keen on. So, no, I thought it was a really good performance. Must be said, the form is average. He beat 116 rated horse into second. It's not fantastic form, but that said, you can't take anything away from him. So we're going to learn a lot more come Christmas time when these start running against each other.
I have no views. I didn't see it. So move on. All right. Class tells Constartista wins on her chase debut. I was watching this and halfway through I was thinking, Jesus, this thing can't jump fences at all. And still ended up winning. You were let down by Magic Days.
I don't know what to make of her. She's just so crazy. But when Darragh O'Keefe was on her last day, I think it was at Cork as well, he literally just let her just go as fast as you want and do whatever you want because there's no hole in your back. And she bolted up. She literally bolted up. And then today, then so Regan tried to be smart on her. He was like slowing her down, and she gets bet. So I just don't know what to make of her. Like, I don't know how I could follow her again, because Constartista didn't jump well and still managed to get up. She missed, I think, 3 down the back.
I think Magic Days was just legless. I think if they went any faster, she would have get beat even further. I think Constartista's class just showed how much better she was than the rest of the field. We're probably still looking at Magic Days. Oh, that was only her second run over hers when she was starting to tell me something, girl. Yeah, our chase debut was good, or chase win was good the last time.
Her jumping was way better the last time when she was going faster. And the last day, like 4 fences into the race was over because she was so far ahead, and none of the rest of them could get back into the race with how fast she was jumping. That never happened today. They were always within touching distance.
But you not think it was the fact that she couldn't get away. It was the fact that there was a much better horse than behind her. There's a proper Grade 1 mare in behind her. Well, I say proper Grade 1, but a high class mare in behind her.
I don't know what to make of her, to be honest.
What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, like even CS Gold got like a lot closer to it than she did the last day.
I mean, she beat her like 26 lengths the last day, 27 lengths. She was way closer today.
Yeah, I she jumped all right, but only all right. Yeah, look, I don't know. This was the one race that I don't really have a strong opinion on. I don't really know what to make of it, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know. Constartista was all right. I thought she jumped okay at some fences. I think her thing is she's actually quite low and quick over them. I think as she has a few runs, she might respect them a little bit more. But if she can keep being low and quick, but respect them when she's wrong, I think she's got a good career over fences ahead of her. But Jeremy's Flame ran a nice race in second. Some nice races to be won with her, but yeah, not mad about that race, to be honest.
Do we think Constartista is going to scale no heights over fences?
I'd say,
don't know. I wouldn't rule it out. Put it that way.
I thought Ellie Mae was pretty short going into the weekend, but I think she's double the price now.
Like, to win a Grade 2 in your first start over fences is not to be sniffed at all. As she's going to learn as she goes, she got on tight to a few, and she did make a mistake or two, but they're going to learn from that as they go forward. And to go from a position where she didn't look like she was going to win and to end up, winning not closely, but you knew she was going to win in the end after jumping the last and our first run over fence. She was going to come, our first run of the season, should I say, as well. She's going to come on from that as well. I think she could, as you said there, the mare's chase, she could be something to highly consider in that. I think Saucy Goal going up in trip. If I'm not mistaken, she's a 3-mile winner.
She has won over 3 miles
over hurdles. She won a Cork beating Ragnar Logbrook by 8 lengths last season. I think her back up in trip now, she'd be very interesting.
And heavy ground.
Yeah. Right. Moving on again. Did we just see the 2022 champion chase winner? This is in regards to Anagamene winning at Cork today. To me, it was a very impressive performance to go toe-to-toe with Notebook for so long, and you see what happened to Notebook in the end of it. He was out at the back of the screen, and this lad was still going. I know Size and Potsy was keeping on at the end, but they went a hell of a gallop himself and Notebook and the Toad on Notebook, and Notebook is no mug. I think this is the champion chase winner.
Yeah, I think if he stays fit and he gets to Cheltenham, he will finally break Willie Mullins' duck in the champion chase. The race, I don't understand how we went away again at the end, and it shows how much of a tank of a horse he is. Because I know some people are saying in the comments, because I was reading them there, that Notebook has gone backwards and all that. All well and good. But Notebook raced him way too far out. And they were both racing way too far out.
They were racing for a mile and a half together.
And Norgamine should have tied up because they went too fast. In the middle portion of the race, they went too fast. And they went so fast that Notebook literally couldn't breathe from 4 out and dropped away to just be nowhere in the screen. Size and Patsy was picking up the pieces, and I was like, he's actually going to finish close enough to him. But he just pulled away again. And then he was tossing away at the line. So I thought it was an unbelievable performance because they were racing too soon. Then he dropped back, they were racing again. And he still had loads of energy at the end. So to me, he's just an absolute tank. He just pulls himself around, jumps well. There's really no negatives. Bar he missed Cheltenham last year. I know he was injured. But so far, I would just, between him and Shishkin now, I'd be an argument all day long.
He's now 11-4, second favourite behind Shishkin. That still gets me. I don't know what. How is he not favourite now? And we haven't even seen Shishkin. I don't get that. But I got the value 6-1.
There's people saying.
It's all about us, Tom. That right?
There's people saying in the comments about the Ryanair as well.
Tom's not impressed. Look.
Another means a 2-mile chase. He might go up later in his career, but right now he's an absolute 2-mile chase.
He's
just going to bully horses.
He's the Allaho 2 mile. He's a 2 mile Allaho. Jumps, travels, and stays. And he's very, very, very good. Thoughts, Thomas?
I thought this was the performance of the weekend. The way they took each other on down the back, and then where he finished compared to where Notebook finished to, Notebook had won on his seasonal reappearance. He's no slouch. He's better than some of those that beat him this weekend. I was getting a bit worried about Energumene when Daily Tiger and Size and Potsy were looming up. I was, oh God, like this is terrible form. But he's gone on again from that. And Notebooks ends up being 42 lengths, 24 lengths last behind Cashback. So there's no way Energumene Notebook is that much behind the rest of them. So I think they took each other on pretty hard, and I thought it was a cracking performance, and especially considering some of Willie's have been in and out. They're very happy with him.
Yeah, my idea now, the champion chase winner. I think he just has everything. Jumps.
If he won, from what I see in the race, like Tom was saying as well, he should have failed it because they went way too fast and they were racing against each other, and everything else just let them do their own thing. But he didn't just fall it; he still battered everything else.
He was going away again after it was. Come to the second last, Size and Potsy was closing in on him, and he jumped. I know Size and Potsy made a bit of a mistake, but he was coming in again. But then when he jumped the last, he went. The stride lengthened again, and he went on. I think he's a very, very good horse. Right. Where are we? We are on to Ferny Hollow shows his gears when it mattered. I like the last three furlongs of this. First, I think the first mile and a half-ish, Patrick was just getting him from A to B, and then after the last, he let him down and off he went. Nut job. I think he'd be better when he's held up. I don't think going in front really suited him. I think that was just the whole thing of the day to get him around, blah blah blah, make him win.
Hold him up. Yeah, I wouldn't hold him up at all.
Well, he was better when he was held up in his bumpers, Tom, to be fair.
Oh, that was in his bumpers. That was when he was he was nearly unrideable those days, though.
Still is.
I think he's settled in behind something now, and he's popping away like that, the way he did today. And you take him out coming into home straight, and you just let him rip. Good luck to you. He's a horse you don't want to get lit up. This is why I back up the point. He's not a horse I don't think you want to get lit up. And if he's one on this side of him, one on this side of him, going down to the first view, he's going to go fucking bonkers and go off. Where if you switch him off at the back like Paul did in the bumper, and just leave him pop away, and then about 4 furlongs out, start getting him into it, and jump the second last, and off he goes. That's the way I just think he could be ridden in better races.
Look, you could. I thought he was all right today, though. In fairness to him, I didn't think he was too crazy at all. But
He's perfect horse now for me because he's the correct amount of crazy with the correct amount of talent to get over being that crazy. Everything Goshen last year wasn't, because Goshen was just crazy but didn't have enough talent to get past the craziness.
Poor Goshen.
Ferny Hollow is just a bit mad but has loads of talent and can do stuff wrong and still win.
You finally realised that Goshen didn't have enough talent after me telling you for a little while. Don't forget Ferny Hollow is the only horse to beat Bob as well.
Get the list
A bit
out.
like carefully selected for the Ryanair.
Horse didn't run like.
Because he's shite.
Who ran an absolute cracking race today to finish second to Ferny Hollow? Curse Sublime. Back in the game, boys. Back in the game. I reckon that horse is going to end up in a handicap at Cheltenham.
I guarantee you, right?
My words.
They're ready now.
I'm ready.
Next time he's running, Tom, we'll have a match bet. That's all. Okay. Because the only time he runs well is his first race of the season. We'll have a match bet, Tom, and you lose €10.
Yeah, he didn't run well first day last season, so we'll see. Yeah, we can have a match bet on that.
Weak finisher. Oh my.
He is a weak finisher. That is his problem.
Oh, well, you know, there's a few comments saying the underwear. I thought Fernie was good. He's been off for over a year or so.
I it's the first run of the season. I think people want this when they see the horse the first time out. They're expecting to see this blown away performance. Where it's like the first game, it's your first run. They're not going to be unbelievable.
First game of the season.
It's a long season. It's the first step towards another target.
He's been off for a year, won by 4 lengths, jumped adequately.
Happy days.
When he was put under pressure, got a smack, sprinted away.
He's like, ooh, I like that.
I thought it was great. See, Commander of Death won the race.
Yeah, what the fuck? 40s.
Would you believe?
Don't tell me back.
Would you believe, Tom? Would you believe I text Kubo? You were in the message as well. The last day, I think it was, I don't know where it was around. It's going right-handed. Right?
Punch them.
And I said, he was 33-1 that day.
Fair
I said, Kubo, today's the day to back Commander of Death because he's going to win. And he fell. And he goes, and Julie wins the next day at 40-1.
Back him.
No, I backed him the last day.
Damn it.
I didn't even know he was running. I was working here and I came back and see the results.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, Tom just said about there. Gordon Eilish having 7 winners on 1 card.
Yeah, he had 9 in a row because he won the first 2 this today as well.
That's impressive. That's no mean feat.
Very good going, in fairness to him. And it only came up on my Snapchat things. 5 years ago, it must have been that Navan card that he had 6 winners on the card there. So maybe one to keep in mind for next year. He clearly does well at that meeting.
Outdoor stables are fun flow again. Open. Go, big Gordos. Right, last one we're going to talk about before we go to our questions. Allaho grinds him into submission. Hell with Allaho for a minute. What the hell you have to do in the poor eye?
You know,
fucking jinxed him. One night, one good run, and Dave goes, "Oh, he's an aeroplane." I love him.
He's got a propeller.
I'm honeysuckle now.
Don't you dare! Joe, you stay away from her. You stay away from her.
I wonder if I can.
He's done it already, Andrew.
Oh, balls!
13K value in the champion hurdle market.
She is actually valued. I was right because she's now 4 to 5. So was I right or was I right?
Hey, I want to see what value I have now, Allaho.
He's 2 to 1 now.
He's 2 to 1, and I put him up at 7 to 2 value.
However, yeah, I don't know. Roy just don't look like he's up to that level now, does he?
Samcro 2.0.
Well, today the way he ran, he looked like Samcro 2.0. It's quite disappointing, really. I literally said on Wednesday, if he can't even beat Fakir Dudery, then what's going on? And he couldn't even beat him.
He jumped very big for a lot of the fences.
But I did say, and he was.
Oh, here's the excuse. No, here we go. Waiting for this.
He was going to win. I said, would not be surprised if Astian Ferrange wins, or
he was going to bolt up
something absolutely outside his mind, like always. And he did.
But you know, going up to that fence, when you see Brian take him into the wing, you're like, he's going to jump through this fucking wing, isn't he?
He went as close to the wing as he could. And like, sometimes he don't even fall. He just manages to not have a jockey when he comes.
He's like a trampoline. He goes down and goes boing.
He's just so going to win a big race eventually. Will he win the King George? Possibly.
He was going to win that.
Yeah, he was definitely going to win.
He was cantering all over him.
I wouldn't be Allaho's biggest fan, but I said to you already, I would like the horse more after today because he went out in the sword and he probably would have been beaten by Asterion for Lange. He was legless come the end. I think Cheltenham suits him better.
He jumped
first run of the season, probably not his fittest. And he just kept going and he really showed a will to win today. Because he could have folded up and got bet by Janadil, but he tried his hardest to win it.
You could see with his jumping as well, going left-handed will suit him a lot more. He jumps out to his left a lot. But my worry now...
I would have considered him a weak finisher earlier in his career, like in the Albert Bartlett and against Minetta Indo and Champ, but he won a weak finisher today. He really tried hard.
He's just a not true 3 mile. He's not a dare 3 mile stayer. He's a good 2.5 mile stayer, top class 2.5 mile stayer that jumps well and has good and travels well. Today, I hope and then love of Jesus that it doesn't leave his mark. That was a slog.
That was a slog. It was hard racing.
I hope now they don't.
Hunter chase the Kelso. Oh my god.
I just hope they give him a break now and just bring him back in February or something now. Because that's going to take a while to get over.
Dave, you really are useless. I never claimed to be anything better than useless. So it is what it is.
What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, it was a random race, wasn't it, lads? It was a random race. It's nearly as good as the F1 which I watched this evening, which was mental. This was the horse racing version of the F1 race in Saudi Arabia today. Asterion Falange being Max Verstappen.
I've no idea what he's going about right now.
I drove it. He slapped the brakes on to let Hamilton pass him, but Hamilton hadn't got the team message that he was meant to pass him, and Hamilton went right up his ass. It was mental. So then Verstappen took off, and then they were like, "No, you have to let him pass again." So like Mercedes garage going mental. It's actually really good. I'm getting back into F1 carnage today though. This Asterion was going to bolt up, wasn't he, lads?
Yeah.
And I've gone back through his form, and I am going to tell you now when I am next going to back Asterion Falange, and it will be at the Punchestown Festival. He's had 3 runs over fences at Punchestown. He won on his first start. He fell at the first on his next run in a grade 3, and then he won a handicap at Punchestown, and then he was going to bolt up again today. So that obviously suits him. He's a tricky bloody animal, and that place obviously really suits him. So that's the next time I'll be backing him. Allaho was good. I don't think he was 100% even, but he got the job done. Janadil, I said it, and you took the piss out of me the other day. Like, he could run well, and you took the piss. He's won now. I wouldn't be completely surprised if he went and kicked on a bit this season.
I would.
Really, I think there's a bit of scope in him to go improve. I'm going to have a look at the price for him for a race because I actually think there's a bit of scope in Janadil. Look, Mellon's got to run his race. Then Fakir, I think Fakir's level, like that's a solid run for him. Tornado Flyer was staying on very well at the finish. God only knows what you'd look at with him. I'd be interested in him at Leopardstone at Christmas. And then you got to get to Envoy, and just didn't run very well, did he? And this is another thing. It was almost like watching bloody Shona. You knew it was over, a circuit to go when she was in second, traveling away, and then she just stopped traveling, and horses came around her, and it was over then. Like an Envoy, you could tell it was over miles out. So
what do you do with him now, though? It's unless something comes out and he was injured again, or
he jumped strange.
He jumped like a soldier.
Hang on now. Nijinsky says, Tom, you telling me that one of the best trainers of jumpers would not have had Allaho 100% behave?
Yeah, correct. He would not
What do you think
100%.
they do? Gallop the brains out of them for their first run of the season. That's how you train horses, you know. So
Unless it's
Yeah.
first time up at the Cheltenham Festival, they're not going to be 100% fit.
yeah, they're definitely not 100% fit on their first start of the season. I guarantee you that.
What are we talking about? Envoy Alan. 3 Mile boat again? Or just a boat?
No,
Hello.
There must be something up. Is there something up, or as you say, was it just a lot of hype?
Your man in the comments keeps saying, "Give me a charity bet." If you DM me, we'll have a charity bet. No has.
What?
You can pick Buzz. I'll pick something else.
What?
This kid char 3, whatever.
Anyway, back to Envoy.
I've no idea.
Any ideas, Tom? What would you do now?
Champion chase Tom.
Drop him down, let him roll, and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen?
I probably would try that, to be honest. Now, it'd be a lot of head scratching. I don't fancy being in Henry's position to sit down and decide what he's going to do with him. But it's so tricky, and it's amazing how we're sat here. Like that horse, he fell at Cheltenham. That was way too far out to say if he got beat or not. He's then chipped a bone or whatever it was at Punchestown. And then he's come out and bolted up at Down Royal. So everyone's like, oh, he can't do it on the big day. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, he's literally run like one bad race and he badly injured himself in that race. So this is the first time he's actually ran badly. I'd be interested to see if anything comes out of it, as in if there is an excuse, there is a reason why, a physical reason. And I'd go from there. I imagine Henry's Open there's a physical problem with him tomorrow, because then you've got your reason why. I just don't think she was happy with him a long way out, and that makes it tricky. It's not like you can say, oh well, he didn't stay, or oh, he needs to go up and trip. It just makes it really, really difficult. I have no idea where I'd go. I'd be praying out. There was a small, obviously you don't want anything major to happen, but a small minor problem tomorrow morning that, oh yeah, he needs an easy week and we'll be back up and kicking. So, but yeah.
It's just as thrown out fucking suggestion thing. But could we be looking at he's just not as good a chaser as he thought he'd be, and consider bringing him back over hurdles?
No, I think he's a chaser. I think it's hard. I think we're being very hard on him to say, oh, he's just not as good as he's going to be, because he's literally run one bad race, and that's today. So, yeah.
If nothing comes out of it, though, you're you're then sitting there going, what in the name of God are we going to do with him now? Do you then go, do we change tactics with him? Do we step him up and trip? Do we drop him down and trip?
Back to Gordon.
Do they take him out of Henry's?
I don't think that's the problem, to be honest.
I know it's not the problem. This is contained with situations of where you are with him.
Also talking about about horses stepping out of novice company, and it is always difficult, and you never know until you step out of that. How many novices have we seen?
I'd say it's around 4. Just changed his name. What was his name? Actually, don't mention it.
Yeah, but like, how many horses have we seen that look like aeroplanes as novices, and then they step into open company, and they're just not, they run okay, but they're not up to that level. That may be the case here. I'm not saying it's not. Like we all said, the form of that race the last day at Down Royal wasn't great, but he was very impressive. Look, he just might not be that good, but it is only one run you're judging him on.
Yeah,
him and Surname are the 2 most overhyped horses in training. I imagine if anybody runs bad again now, you're not far off the mark.
Yeah, you're tearing up a season plan with him. Then you're starting from scratch again.
I wanted him to win. I really didn't want him to be class, but he sure didn't look it today anyway.
From the word go, from the first few fences where he's jumping
He
big.
jumped him weird and big and legs skewing out to the side. I don't know.
Envoy is Big Bucks 2.0. I wouldn't be against bringing him back over hurdles. You know that?
Oh,
He does. He's not.
or stairs hurdle job, is it?
What race would you run him in? A stayers, really?
Okay, if it comes back, there's nothing up with him. I won't be against doing it. Because if you run like that over fences in open company with the likes of Allaho and all these around these days, you just gotta take your medicine and go, fuck, or he's definitely not as good as we thought he is. Let's try get his confidence back, go back down over hurdles, easy stay 3 miles. The stairs isn't the strongest. Let's give it a go.
But how this shows, lads, how difficult it is to be a trainer or like a raceman. Can you imagine, like, whatever Henry does with his horse next time, somebody is going to give out about it. If he goes back over hurdles, people will say, "Oh, it's ridiculous." If he goes chasing and runs him in a 3-mile chase, someone will say he needs 2 miles. If he runs him over 2 miles, someone will say he needs 3 miles. It's so difficult. Like, it really is not an easy game. Like, it really, really isn't. So.
Yeah, look, I think the first option would be he did show so much pace when he was, I say, younger. It's 2 miles. Then if that doesn't work out, you're going. You can't really go in the middle of the season. Christ, let's turn him into a Gold Cup horse now all of a sudden. Saying that now, they don't know about that Plutarch, so it can't happen. It's such a crazy situation. There's so many options. I say options. Things you could do with him if it turns out he's just had a bad day, blah, blah, blah. Nobody has the answer right now.
Sad times.
Poor Roy. So ever since you changed his name to Roy?
It was Punchestown last year he ran badly as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a chipped hip or bone or something like
You
that.
just don't like Punchestown.
Could be.
Could be that. I don't know if he's... I think he has won there, though, over hurdles. Let me check. Yeah, he did win. Yeah, he did win there over hurdles. So, or did he? No, he didn't. Sorry, he won there over fences. Yeah, he won there over fences on his last start for Gordon. So, I don't know, lads. It's a really difficult one for me. The horse has lots of ability and looks.
It's a head scratcher.
On an aeroplane on his best days, but yeah, maybe he's not that good. Maybe there's something wrong. Find out in the next few days, or we'll find out in his next run. So,
time will tell.
Happens. They all, as I said at the start of that horse's career, and I got given out to Fred, they all get beat at some stage, and they do.
Bar Honeysuckle.
Yeah.
Bar Honeysuckle. Yeah. Hopefully, anyway, that'd be a great story if she could go through her career unbeaten. Just
worry about. I was talking to someone out in Henry's about this. When do you stop with her? She's so valuable now. When do you stop and breed off her? What is she now? She's 7 now, isn't she? 7 going on 8.
Yeah. She's one of these though. She's a good race mare. So hopefully she'd be a good mother as well. And she's definitely got the size and scope to be a good mother. But look, she's a good race mare. They don't come around too often. It's so bloody hard to get one. If you had a horse that was going to be favourite for a champion hurdle next season and she was in perfect health, it'd be very hard to retire her.
Right, we finished on our eye catchers for the weekend. Googly eyes, googly eyes, googly eyes. Who has caught your eye, David O'Keefe?
I said it to Nicky Henderson, maiden hurdle winner, novice hurdle winner, Balco Coastal.
Balco Coastal.
That was at hunting.
Oh, we forgot to touch on hunting. Shut the hell of a shit race. No one cares.
First flow was good though.
He's a weird jumper. He's crazy as well, that fella.
He got some toe into the race, shooting down to the ground, 3 lunatics out in front.
Tom, your eye catcher.
Mine's actually no. I only got to watch most of the big races today, but mine's actually going to be Janadil. I think there's a small chance he's going to be way underestimated, that horse, going forward for the season.
Mine was I thought a horse that came second in the maiden hurdle. His name's Kilcrush, I think he ran. Saucy Gold in the Grade 2 Novice Chase
Winters.
at Cork, I think, stepping up and trip in deep ground. 2 mile 4 even will suit her down to ground. I think she could run the 14 chase. She might run well in that. I think bottomless ground or Limerick one. I think she could run well in that if she goes there. But anywhere she goes, stepping up and trip on heavy ground or soft ground, I think she will definitely outrun her out. So I'll keep an eye on her when she steps up and trip. Magic Days for her. Mick Winters. I'll take a few questions.
Magic Days is not trained by Mick Winters. Say
it's Gold. Stacey Gold. Yeah, I was looking at Magic Days. What Tom said. Anyway. See any questions there, Tom? You're good at this. Looking at questions. Here we go. I have one for you. One for you, Tom. Janet Dill for the Gold Cup 50-1. Some good form over shorter trips could be value. Tom.
He could be. I'm going to go back and watch some of his races and stuff. He could be. He could well be. I'm just looking at what price he is here for the Ryanair. He's 16s for that as well. Yeah, I just think he's going to go under the radar. Like he's a Grade 1 winner as a novice. He ran okay at Cheltenham as a novice hurdler in the Albert Bartlett. In what was a extremely good Albert Bartlett, Monkfish latest exhibition, Fury Road and Time Hill. So yeah, something draws me to him that he's going to go underestimated, and I should stick with him and keep a close eye on him this year. So yeah, I wouldn't rule any bet out at 50-1 basically.
Check the battery pack.
Battery's gone there. Right, we keep going anyway. You still hear us, Tom? Yeah.
I can still hear you. Just can't see anything.
Yeah, battery's gone dead. I didn't charge it enough today. Right, Asher. Look, what can you do? Amateur. It is. I've been busy today. If an Ergamine was 7-4 and Shiskin was 5-1, would you be on? I won't be on 500-1. No, I'm not saying that again.
Yes. Yeah, I probably would. I think this was the conversation we were having last year for the Oracle, wasn't it? And I was saying, like, which one of them was the bigger price? I'd back the one that was the bigger price because I like the two of them. I think they are both very, very good horses. I'd love to see them both turn up at Cheltenham.
Which one do you think would be the other?
Now, on this, I don't think Shiskin should be fair because we haven't even seen him. And on Tom's point that he said about novices coming into open company, how do we know he's going to be as good? We're going on what Nicky Henderson said. He's had to grow into himself. He's bigger. That's all we have to go on.
He's probably not going to make his Christmas engagement now either. His bloods came back bad.
Well then.
At the minute, lads, if it was even money each or two, I'd be backing an Ergamene.
So he just changed the question completely.
Yeah, he dodged it. He's back there.
No, I answered it. If it was 5-1, 7-4, I'd back Shishkin at 5-1. I don't think there's that much between them in price. If it was an even money each or two thing, I'd back an Ergamene. Or if it was 7-4 and 5-2 Shishkin, I'd back an Ergamene 7-4.
But who do you think is going to win? Who do you think would win right now?
At the minute, and especially after seeing him today, I think an Ergamene will win.
And if Shishkin was 5-1, even though you think an Ergamene would win, you'd still back Shishkin.
Yeah, Dave, we're not getting into betting. We're not getting into betting.
In 5 minutes in, and don't want to be here 2 hours and 5 minutes in.
I wouldn't have given Thomas Garvey much of a chance in the world. However, if he was 500-1, I'd have backed him. I actually think I said.
You wouldn't because you would have said he's no hope.
I didn't ask you about Thomas Darby.
Shut up! I'm getting into this now.
This is the point. If Shishkin was 50-1 and an Ergamene was 7-4, would you back Shishkin?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our WhatsApp group.
The man said 5-1, not 50.
I know, but that's what I'm putting to you. I think that's too far of a price difference.
This is the part where I slide into this.
Back Shishkin at 50-1 because you think an Ergamene will beat him.
5-1 each way. Now,
dodge the question, Dave.
I think You were answering the question. I just asked you, who do you think would win? And you said Energumene, but I'd still go back Shishkin.
No, I said if Shishkin was 5-1, I would back Shishkin. Shishkin isn't 5-1, is he? He's shorter.
No,
so I won't be backing Shishkin. So I didn't say I was backing him at all.
On that bombshell, we are going to leave it at that, or we'll be here till midnight.
I'll happily continue this conversation.
No, we can have it next week. We can have if you want to have a whole value section, we'll have the value section next week.
How many bills has value paid for you so far?
0. Unless the horse is called value.
How many?
Well, now
0.
I could get on Tom's side here with this and say Monkfish, Bob Ollinger last year, along with Honeysuckle, I backed them at huge prices, and they've all won their respective races. You can't call value then a win. That's I don't get. In my mind, it doesn't work out.
I know what you're saying. You back the Manticoast, not in conjunction with another horse that's in the race.
Yeah.
Just thought, yeah. Know what you mean.
Will says, "Well done, Ben. You've just ended the show with your question."
It's true. He has. Oh, look, we're going to have a section. You also have. You never done the quick fire things for this week.
I wasn't here last week.
I didn't say last week, so you had them for next week. Right. So on that note, before the two of these get into an argument off screen, we are going to end it now. We are back Wednesday for another weekend preview. What's on next week? Cheltenham. So, I think it is. Yeah, Cheltenham's on next week. So, until then, enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you Sunday for another weekend preview.